All right, in this video, we're going to be reviewing the two-step inequalities, which is for our quiz that you'll be taking in class. And this is the benchmark AR.2.2. Solve two-step linear inequalities in one variable and represent the solutions algebraically and graphically. So let's review. The quiz is going to have 5 questions. This is the first 2 questions. And let's remember, when we are solving a two-step inequality, one of the steps is going to be to add or subtract the constant. And an example of a constant is the -5 here in this equation, or the -4 here in this equation. One of the other steps will be to multiply or divide by the coefficient. And the coefficient here, an example of that is -5. The coefficient in this equation is actually 6. So if we have a coefficient, we multiply or divide by the coefficient. If we have a constant, we add or subtract to remove the constant. All right, so in this first question, we're going to divide by 6 because 6 is the coefficient to the parentheses x minus 4. When I divide by 6, I am left with x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 4. Then we have this constant, -4, so we're going to add 4 to both sides, and x is greater than or equal to 8. Well, our inequality says that x is greater than or equal to 8, so our solution will begin at 8. We'll have a closed circle because this includes the number 8 because it has the equal sign, so it's a closed circle. And the solutions will be going to the right because this is a greater than or equals to symbol. That means all of the numbers that are greater than 8, which is on the right side on a number line. All right, question number 2, write your solution as an inequality. We have -5x minus 5 is greater than 65. First thing we're going to do here is add 5 to both sides because we can add or subtract the constant to move it away from the variable. So we add 5 to make it 0 on this side. And whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. So then we have -5x is greater than 70. Well, this -5 is the coefficient to the variable x. So we're going to divide by -5 to get rid of it. And when we divide by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So x is now less than -14. This is written as an inequality, so we can leave our solution just like that. All right, then we have 3 more questions down at the bottom. We're going to solve and graph your inequality. We have 8x plus 42 is less than 2. Again, our first step is going to be to move the constant, so we add or subtract the constant first. So we subtract 42 from both sides. Then we have 8x is less than -40 because 2 minus 42 is -40. So now we have to get rid of this coefficient, the number in front of the x, and to remove a coefficient, we have to divide. So we're going to divide by 8 on both sides, and x is less than -5. So this is our inequality. Now we have to graph it. So we have -5 on our number line. We're going to have an open circle because it does not include -5. It is not equal to -5, but it has to be less than -5. And our arrow is going to go to the left. Question 4, -3x plus 6 is less than or equal to 30. First thing we're going to do is add or subtract the constant. In this case, we have the +6. So we are going to subtract 6 from both sides. We get -3x is less than or equal to 24. Now we have to get rid of the coefficient to the x. So to remove this coefficient, we have to divide by -3. And when we divide by a negative, the inequality sign is going to flip. So x is now greater than or equal to a -8. We're going to put that on our number line, -8. We have a closed circle because it includes -8, and it will be going to the right. The solution begins at -8. We will have a closed circle, arrow going to the right. So you saw a question like that on question number 1. You may see a question like that again in the future. So it's important that you understand that the solution begins at is always whatever you found on the other side of your inequality symbol. Question number 5, write your solution as an inequality. We have 50 minus 5x is greater than or equal to 16.5. We are going to subtract or add or subtract the constant first, and our constant here is the 50. There is not a negative sign in front of the 50, so we know that it's positive. So we have to subtract 50 from both sides in order to make it 0 over here and bring it over to this side. And we get negative 5x is greater than or equal to negative 33.5. Now we have to worry about this coefficient to the x. So we're going to divide by negative 5 on both sides. And when we divide by a negative, we're going to flip the sign. So x is now less than or equal to 6.7. So that means the solution begins at 6.7. We would have a closed circle because it has the equal sign, going to the left because it is a less than symbol. All right, that's it for your quiz review.